So, what exactly is lazy writing? Because we see this term tossed around like it's nobody's business. So let's talk about this. That movie is a shit show. What you think you see, what you think you hear, that's what it's about. It's all a theater of the mind. No, it's garbage. It's garbage. Mood and atmosphere. Now that I really like. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see. Hey folks, how you doing? Dave McCrae here. Okay, in this video, I want to talk about the term lazy writing, but more specifically as it pertains to the character of Michael Myers, and even more specifically as it pertains to the video that, as of shooting this video anyway, that I just uploaded a couple of hours ago. And in that video, I was talking about a question that appears to be on a lot of people's minds, which is, how did Michael Myers escape the fire and the basement of Laurie Strode's house at the end of Halloween 2018? What are they going to say in Halloween Kills? What is going to be the answer? And my argument in that video was that you don't need to know the answer. It actually is better served to you, the viewer, and to the character of Michael Myers if you do not know that answer. And I know a lot of people agreed with me and understood where I was coming from, but a lot of people didn't. There were quite a few people that didn't and said, oh, that's lazy writing if they do that. It's lazy writing if they don't explain how he got out, or at the very least allude to the fact of how he got out or something, or some sort of, flashback or whatever. It's lazy writing, lazy writing, lazy writing, lazy writing. And I've seen this term tossed around, like I said, like it's nobody's business for years, not just with Halloween, but with a lot of things. So it's not lazy writing when it comes to the character of Michael Myers to do that. And I'm going to explain to you why. But first, very briefly now, let's talk about what lazy writing is in a general sense. Lazy writing, in the general sense, when it comes to characters, are characters that are underdeveloped, characters that are cliche, characters that are stereotypical, characters that are that they make incompetent decisions to help justify the narrative continuing. Like one of the great examples of this is A Quiet Place. Now, I thought A Quiet Place was, it was a great concept. The concept of that movie was great, but the characters were fucking dumb. And I couldn't believe that movie was critically acclaimed. I couldn't believe it. I mean, in order for that movie to be longer than 15 minutes, those characters had to continue to make incompetent decision after another. I wanted to gouge my eyes out and rip the movie out of the fucking DVD player. I just couldn't believe this. It blew my mind. So when it comes to plot, similar things, right? Cliched MacGuffins, cliched devices that drive the narrative forward, cliched weak plots that you kind of see coming from a mile away. Yes, maybe these cliched, stereotypical devices help you do get from A to B and they're used all the time. But maybe if you thought harder and you wrote a bit longer and you took a break, maybe every now and then you could find a different, more creative way to help make the journey a little more interesting. Right? So in a general sense, that kind of is what lazy writing is. And of course, there's other things we could go into as well if I had more time, but I want to jump over to the other side of the coin now. So when it comes to my argument in that video, or the argument at all about who Michael Myers is, at least right now, it's not lazy writing. When we look at Michael Myers, the character of Michael Myers right now in the current Halloween universe, that Michael Myers, you've heard me say this ad nauseum, but I gotta say it because it's true. That Michael Myers is the same Michael from Halloween 1978, okay? That's who they're telling us he is. He's not Michael from Part 2 or 4 or 5 or 6 or H2O or Resurrection. Those movies and that Michael at this current moment in time ceases to exist. Now, I know that it is difficult for fans, because it would be difficult for me too. If you are emotionally attached to the series, you love the series, you love a lot of the movies, to separate that in your mind, that all those things that Michael did and that the Shape did and the stories and the character traits and all those things do not exist right now. They do not exist. They are not canon as of right now. It's hard to do that. So when you look at James Jude Courtney's portrayal of Michael Myers, you have to remember you're seeing a character, you're watching a character that really has no history except for one movie. So the character of Michael Myers was in the 2018 film is built around everything we know in 90 minutes from 1978. And what do we know about that movie? And this is not my opinion, this is a fact, okay? This is not my opinion, these are facts. John Carpenter wrote the character. He is the writer, he is the artist. He wrote the character to be ambiguous, to possess enigma, right? He wrote the character so we don't know why he's doing what he's doing. We don't know his backstory. We don't know where he comes from, per se. And we don't know how he does what he does. That is what he wrote. That is part of his character development, okay? So when you take that and you implement that in the sequel to that movie, that's not lazy writing, that's honoring the character that came before, okay? Now, to be fair, John Carpenter also didn't know that there would be an abundance of sequels. And when you do an abundance of sequels, you do have to open things up a little bit, right? You got to explain things and give backstory and explanation to things that may otherwise have been ambiguous or mysterious in the first or second installment of a series. So that is a point that would go over to those who perceive that kind of thing as lazy writing. But it's still not lazy writing because because Blumhouse has gone back to the original intent of the character, the original writing of the character, and saying that we're starting here and going this way. So we're going to utilize certain character traits and certain character things that John Carpenter created. So, and one of those things was the anonymity and the enigma of how the shape does what he does or what exactly he is. So it does not need an explanation. Now, to be fair, what it does need, however, is that it does need some exposition somewhere in Halloween Kills where the characters, whether it's Laurie, Allison, or Karen, or all three, or whoever, are acknowledging how perplexed they are that the shape got out. It needs that because that grounds it in reality. It puts the characters in the same position as the viewers, right? We live vicariously through these characters. The characters must be just as perplexed as we are. It's like going back to the original 1978 film when Dr. Wynn says, for Christ's sakes, Dr. Haddonfield is 150 miles away from here. He can't drive a car. And Dr. Loomis says, well, he was doing very well last night. Maybe someone around here gave him lessons. And he tosses his coat into the car, right? I mean, that they are acknowledging the weirdness of this 21-year-old guy who's been incarcerated since he was 6, driving a car like it's nobody's business. They're acknowledging that. They're letting the audience know, yeah, we know it's fucking weird too. Like, what the hell is going on? And it just makes it that much more freaky and creepy when even the characters in the movie don't know what the fuck is going on, right? So Halloween Kills definitely has to do that at the very least. But show how he got out, allude to how he got out, show some sort of wall or, bars already. No, they don't need to do that. And it's better served to the character and if they don't do that. Now, for those of you that want that, I have no doubt that Blumhouse will probably give you that. I have very little confidence that they are going to not show some sort of flashback or broken wall or bars. They probably will do that. But if they were smart, they would not do that because they would understand the value of not doing that in terms of honoring the writing of John Carpenter and the character of Michael Myers. So that's what you have to remember. In this version of Halloween as we know it right now, it's that Michael Myers. At the end of Halloween Ends in 2021, if Blumhouse wants to reboot the series and do a sequel to Halloween 4 or a sequel to Halloween Resurrection, if they want to really turn this into a choose-your-own-adventure thing, like it's not already, then that's different because that's a different Michael Myers, even though you're kind of told it's supposed to be the same Michael Myers. It's a different Michael Myers. We've seen him do things. The enigma is not really there anymore. There's motive, there's explanations. That's different. That's different. That's when you start exploring certain things. But this Michael Myers which is the 1978 Michael Myers? No, you don't have to do that. I'm actually surprised that they're doing 2 more movies. I actually think you could probably only get 1 more movie with this Michael Myers, because like I've often said, that original intent has a shelf life. You've heard me say that 1,000 times. Michael Myers, the original intent, has a shelf life. And it looks like if Blumhouse really is going to end this version of Michael as we know it, they know that. They're cognitive of that. Okay, but I'm still surprised that they think they can get 2 more movies and not just 1 more, like my concept, right? My concept was just 1 movie, and I think you should just get out while the iron's hot, so to speak, right? Don't let it, but hey, we'll see what happens. So that is what lazy writing is, and that is why honoring that side of the character of Myers is not lazy writing. Anyways, folks, my name's Dave McCrae. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you want to follow me on Facebook, you can at facebook.com/manythingsdavemccrae. That's where I tend to post in the meantime and in between time, and I'm not posting here. All the links are in the description. Check them out if you want, because they're there for you to click. So yeah, in the meantime and in between time, I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.